What did it take you to get here, would you say?
A desire to live by the river. That's the story with
Listening
me.
to my creative writing professor, Dr. Malfris, sparked a kind of odd curiosity. What exactly is the river? Hers might be a place in between a physical state and a metaphorical state, where she can be unapologetically her. But what does that look like for me? Am I meant to drink from that same river? Am I meant to be thrown into the thralls of academia? But why become a professor? An English professor at that? The US Bureau of Labor Statistics projects an absolutely dismal 1% job growth between the years 2023 and 2033 for English professors. This is the lowest projection available for any of the post-secondary education units. On top of that, an average salary relies on the institution, where you are, and unfortunately, gender. Women full-time faculty earn about 83% of what men earn in the field from 2023 to 2024. On the low end, professors may make as low as $55,000 a year, which is a hard bargain in today's ever-heightening cost of living. Then, in a study done by the Chronicle of Higher Education, they found that 69% of college professors showed symptoms of stress. And over half of all college professors had either thought about going in a completely different direction of their work or retiring early. So then, again, I beg the question, why do it? The odds are stacked against you. On top of everything that I just said, to be a creative writing professor at most institutions, you'll at least need a creative writing MFA, which is a terminal degree. But to better your chances, you might want to throw in a PhD in a related field in there. This means that on top of a 2 to 3 year MFA program, you'll also need the teaching experience, the extensive research, and the mountains upon mountains of work needed to write your dissertation. And once you get your PhD, then and only then might you get a job. You'll probably go into adjunct work and try to slither your way into the job pool, the highly competitive job pool of people trying to be tenure-track professors. Nothing is promised, everything is shaky, and you might want to die. And even then, after all of that, you may not even get to do the thing that you want to do most. Right. Why is it worth it? Why would someone in their right mind want to do this? I'm going to try and answer that. First, I'll quickly go over the different types of professors as outlined by USCB's faculty manual. So I want to go over adjunct, a part-time, non-tenure track position. They are paid by the course, and frankly, this isn't exactly where you want to be for too long. It provides you some damn good resume points though, and that much needed teaching experience. Then you have an assistant professor, which is the lowest position for a full-time tenure track professor, and must be hired by way of the national competitive job pool. After 6 years of being an assistant professor here and working very, very hard to build yourself a repertoire of an extensive amount of service, research, and course teaching, you'll then have the chance to be promoted to an associate professor, which is a position most of your professors are in right now. They are tenured, full-time, and meet the educational credentials and performance standards of the university. A full professor like Dr. Malfris is someone who has all of the above, and at USCB, an additional 9 years of effective and relevant experience. Malfris laid out a perfect model for the daily life of a university professor. I like to call it the 50-25-25 model. 50% of your time and effort goes into teaching, 25 to service, and 25 to scholarship. However, things are bound to get murky. A lot of your work will be going towards service and teaching, depending on the institution. For Dr. Malfris last week, that consisted of making a presentation for the Promotion and Tenure Committee, looking over a manuscript for the USC Press, and writing remarks for an upcoming local event. And of course, the mentoring of students, reading their work, and creating substantive feedback for them is imperative. And then there's actually going to class itself. Dr. Malfris, quite frankly, put a lot of emphasis on the calling, the river, the thing that equalizes, making sure that, in Dr. Malfris's words,
Have a genuine feel that the life of the mind is a worthy life to live.
looking at job postings, you'll need a cover letter over scholarship and your educational experience. You'll need a CV, writing samples, teaching statements, letters of recommendations. But these aren't the only things you'll need. You will need the 5 Ds as outlined by Dr. Malphurs: dedication, drive, desire, determination, and of course, discipline. She told me a story about Dr. Don Griner.
This guy was so disciplined. I'll never be this disciplined. So disciplined. I mean, we would try to get him to come to happy hour with us as grad students, and he would check his calendar and say, okay, well, I have 22 minutes on Friday, the October the 24th, I'll meet you at the Goat Feathers.
So is making a difference worth it? Is loving your students worth it? Is watching and helping them grow all worth it? I'll let you answer that for yourself. But I do know that the river will always be calling, and somebody's got to listen. The current of the life of the mind, the community of the life of the mind, the education of the life of the mind, that's what calls here. And I'm willing to listen. And maybe you are too.
An undergrad student who is thinking about going into academia, what's something that they should absolutely consume?
Dead Poet Society.